Hi everyone, it's Rosemary. Welcome to my sewing room. I thought today that we would get back to basics, go back to our Stellaire sewing machine and learn a little bit more about it. I've had a few people ask me about doing the lettering on your Stellaire sewing machine, and that's why I've got my lettering screen up here. If you've had an embroidery machine before, you will know that the lettering was limited. You couldn't do a whole lot of stuff with it, but it also made it a lot easier. This one's a little bit more complicated, and I know that some people get a little bit confused about what you can do with it. One of the first things I want to show you before we even start to type a word in is I'm going to go into this and we're going to just pick Mickey Mouse here, and I'm going to set him down. Now I've got Mickey on here. I'm going to hit add, and then I'm going to go over to my letters, and I'm going to choose something like just this basic one. And you'll notice right away that Mickey is all faded out. And you're like, what the heck? Where did he go? It's because it's centered on doing your lettering right now. So if I go and I write Mickey, and I set that down, now Mickey's back where he was before. So that's the reason why it does something like that. When you're combining the two of them together, when you're putting the lettering, it's going to really just center on the lettering that you're doing at that time. Now, I was okay with writing Mickey because it's a pretty short word, and I didn't run out of any space. But if I hit delete there and say okay, and then hit add, let's say I wanted to write out a whole sentence or something like that. So if I hit this and I put this on here, what I want to do after I write, let's see, I'm going to say H. After I put the first letter, before you write anything else, come down here where it says large, medium, small, and make that medium. That way I'm not going to run out of space once I start to write the word in there. So I am going to say now I wrote have a nice day, and it fit in there. I got two A's in there. And it fit in there. So that's what I wanted to do. If I had started out with the larger letters, I would have run out of space, and the machine would have stopped me and said, are you sure you don't want to turn this sideways? And then people get frustrated and upset because they can't size it until they've set it down. Now, one of the nice things about this is I did goof. I put two A's in there. So I can just hit this button right here, select that A and hit delete, and now it's gone. So you can do a lot more manipulating with coming in and changing some different parts of it that you might want it to be different. So that's really nice that you can do that with this new software. So now once I've written that, I have the option now to hit the return button if I want to hit the return button, or just set it down. Once I've set it down, I can move it up here to the top and move it around, and I can hit edit, and I can hit size, and it's bigger. So now I have a much bigger font than I did before, or even make it really, really small. I can also, if I say okay, you have, this is your font button that brings you back into your fonts, and down here you have an array. So I can hit array, and I can put it on a curve like that, or I could put it on a slant like that, or I can curve it up the other way, move it down here. Oh, it won't let me move it yet. Hang on just a minute. This is going to allow me to make it come out or go in according to how much I want it to curve, like that. Let's put it back on this curve and maybe curve it in a little bit. Now, once I'm finished editing this and I say okay, now I can move it and put it where I want to put it, just like that. I'm going to hit set, and now it's put on with my Mickey Mouse. Now I'm going to actually push delete. Okay, delete. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show you is I want to show you that if we go back into the alphabets again, and we're going to pick something like this very first alphabet, I'm going to use the return button. So let's just write a Bible verse. So I'm just going to pick the F, and I'm going to go to medium because I don't want to run out of space. I'm going to go to lowercase so that I can continue to write this in lowercase, space. I'm going to go to uppercase. And this takes a little while to write this out. So if you have software, sometimes it's a lot easier where you can just sit there and you can type it out. And that way you don't have to worry about sitting here doing it like this unless you're one of those young kids that can just type really fast. I always take a little while to write something like this out. So I've got for God so loved. Now I'm not going to keep on typing. I'm going to hit the return button. And it's going to come to the second row here. And then I'm going to write okay, so now I have 2 rows, and then I'm going to hit return again, and I'm going to write the next line. Okay, so now that I've got all of that in there, then I can go ahead and I can set it down. And you will notice that if I hit edit now, the size is grayed out. And that's frustrating. You're like, I can't size it. I wanted to make it bigger. I can rotate it and turn it sideways, but I can't make it bigger. And that is just the way it is. It just won't let you do that when it's all together like that. So what I want to do in order to size this is I want to hit this ungroup button. It's this button right here that looks like a red square around a circle and a square. I'm going to hit that, and now you'll see that each one of these, it has a separate red box around it. And if I tap over here, now they're not selected, in all of them aren't selected. This one is selected separately. So now my size button is available to me. So I can hit size and I can make this bigger. And I can move it. And sometimes when you use the return button, they're further apart than you want them to be. And so this is also a good way for you to be able to move them closer together or whatever you want to do. I'm going to size this one a little bigger. And then I'm going to come down here and tap this one, and I'm going to size this one a little bigger. Another thing that I can do with this when I have it selected is if I go into my editing tools, you'll notice that I have a spacing tool that will allow me to push them out or push them back in again, like that. Under my edit, I also have this tool here, which is also an editing tool, which will, see the little knife that appears right here? I can push this over and I can hit the knife, and now these are separated. So I could put one here and one over here. I can cut it. I can also cut this one right here so that the F is a separate entity all by itself, and I can size that one bigger. So let's make it bigger like this. And then I'm going to go into here and hit this button right here. And that's giving me the options of all my different fonts again. So let's go down in here and let's choose this one and make that I don't know why that got small again, but that's okay. I'm going to make it big all over again. Yeah, I don't don't know if I like that, but that's an option. You can go in and you can change the fonts on any of them. All you have to do is select the word that you've got there and then go back into your lettering, and right here will allow you to change your mind and make it a different font. Yeah, I noticed that size that one down too. So I guess that's what happens when you change it. It goes back to what it was originally. Just put this back here and this back here. Till I get it exactly the way I wanted it. Okay, so now that I've finished editing everything that I have on here, I want to be able to put it wherever I want it in my screen, and I don't want to keep moving them around one piece at a time. So how do I fix that? So I'm going to say, okay, see this symbol right here? If I hit that, it will allow me to select everything on the screen. And if I already had something else on here that I didn't want to group with this, like I had that Mickey Mouse still on here, the best way to do it would be to tap them one at a time until you've selected everything that you want to group together. And once you have everything grouped all together, I'm going to say, okay, remember this button that was the group button? I'm going to hit it. And it changed it from all those little red squares to one big red square. Now this is all one piece again, just like it was when I first did it, but I've edited it to what I want it to be. And so then I can hit add, and I could put a pretty flower in there, set it down, put it over here. Another thing, and I know I've shown this to you in some of the other videos, is if you hit edit and size, I can hit this one here, and now I can actually size this up as big as I want it to be. So that's also a really nice feature that you can do with the Stellaire, the Luminaire, or the Dream Machine. So hopefully I helped you a little bit with some of the features of trying to play around with your fonts on your sewing machine. And I know this was a quick, short little video, but I just wanted to clarify a little bit. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.